disent qu'est-ce qui vous vient à l'esprit lorsque vous entendez générosité.
Okay, I am looking at the chat section just. All right. So as we keep those introductions coming in and telling us what your word for generosity means, I would like to share that we have French interpretation available. Peace will be in the French room after now. So that means it's a space for you to hear everything happening, no distractions, and you can listen to everyone in French.
Donc, comme j'attends les présentations dans les messages, j'aimerais vous faire savoir qu'il y a l'option interprétation. Donc, Pi sera dans la salle pour les francophones et vous pourrez entendre tout ce qui se passe sans distraction.
Okay, so I'll leave the slide up for a moment and I would allow Peace to tell everyone how to go about that in French, and then French will be Peace will be added to the French room right away.
Donc, je vais laisser le diapo sur l'écran et Peace va vous dire ce que vous devez faire et vous serez ajouté dans la salle francophone. Should I go ahead?
Yes. You're good to go. You can let me know in the chat section. All right. Let's see if this works now. Again, the chat box is yours. Think of it as our networking space. So please use it to connect with other change makers. If a question comes to mind, feel free to share it. We have a question and answer segment at the end of the session, but we want to capture your thoughts as we go along. This session will be recorded and the replay will be shared afterwards for your reference. And then at the close of the webinar, we have a short feedback form and would like to hear everyone's thought so that it helps us with future sessions like this. All right. And yes, we were able to get through that without being muted. Thank you so much. A quick, short icebreaker. On the screen, you will see some cultural prompts, but I'm interested in a traditional meal you would recommend. So I have a question for everyone, and especially those that have been introducing themselves in the chat section. If someone visited your country for the first time, what traditional meal would you recommend they try and why? I'd like to hear from a few of you that are live already. I see Pascaline on my screen. Pascaline from Savi. I believe this is Pascaline from Congo. Pascaline, are you in the French room or the main room? And I also see Rolex from Uganda. Rolex, can you tell us a traditional meal that you would recommend anyone here in this room to try? Susanna says hot Nigerian jollof rice. Susanna, yes, I'm a Nigerian and I agree. And thank God Idabasi has taken us to the globe. Rolex is the meal. Oh my God. Interesting.
Not even the watch.
So Rolex is a meal in Uganda. I'm curious. I want to learn what that means. Shirley, I see yours is Ghana jollof rice. I haven't tasted that before, so this is not a contest, but I do appreciate that you would like everyone to taste the Ghanaian jollof rice. In Liberia, cassava leaves. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you. Afang soup. This person is from Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria or Cross River. Abundance, thank you so much for joining this call. Daramola from Lagos State, Nigeria says Amala with Begiri and goat's foot and Ewedu. I'm laughing because this I know and it's very popular here in my country. I see someone from Cote d'Ivoire. Emma would recommend atieke and fried fish. I don't know what that means, but I like fish, so I think I would enjoy this meal. Thank you all, and please keep sharing what you think everyone should try if we visited your country today. What does today look like? So I'm going to share with everyone what we're about to learn, and then I'll pass the mic to our session leaders. We have kicked off with welcome and introductions just to set the tone and recognize everyone in the room. And I love the diversity in the room. We will start with a background on Giving Tuesday and why this movement matters so much in Africa right now. After that, we learn about activating community campaigns and how we can localize Giving Tuesday where you are. And then we learn case studies, examples, real stories across the continent. A few questions that some of us might have will be answered here today. And we share a special resource for everyone to take home that we believe you will find useful as you prepare for your campaigns. So now that we have set the stage, I'd like to invite someone who truly embodies the spirit of this movement. Catherine Wonder, the director of Giving Tuesday Africa Hub. She works very closely with country leaders and partners, and she will walk us through what Giving Tuesday is, the Africa Hub, and why this matters now. Catherine, over to you.
Thank you so much, Bidemi, and thanks everyone who's taken time to join us today. The diversity you saw from the list of delicacies in each country is the same diversity that is reflected from your participation today. So as you all know, some of you did note that they've heard of Giving Tuesday, they've participated in Giving Tuesday, they have an idea of what Giving Tuesday is. Others say they hadn't. So I guess it's just good to just offer a context of what Giving Tuesday is, which I'm going to do now, why it matters, how we work with partners and leaders around the world, and what we actually do globally, but also at the continental level. So as you all know, or some of you know, Giving Tuesday is a movement, is a global movement that was created in 2012. And it was really based on a simple idea: to encourage people to do good in whatever form or in whatever way that they can contribute to doing good, be it giving your time, giving your voice, contributing financially to support a cause you believe in, celebrating generosity, the generosity around you, or even mobilizing people to create awareness about something that is valuable or about something that is strongly connected to your community. Started in the US, but within a very short time, Giving Tuesday grew. We are now in over 111 countries across the world. And this is a simple reflection that the values that Giving Tuesday stands for, the values that we champion together, are shared values across the world. Beyond that, sorry, Bidemi help me with the slides. Yeah, beyond that, the movement and the momentum the movement has created in all these countries has generated a lot of resources. You can count money, say billions of shillings have been mobilized that we can count. But beyond that, we've seen a lot of in-kind support contributed to causes all over the world. We've seen a lot of people find creative ways and connect with their communities to mobilize skills, to mobilize in-kind support, to mobilize action around very specific things. So it's not just a day for fundraising. It's also not just celebrated once a day. Giving Tuesday is celebrated throughout the year and in different ways. So you might ask why nonprofits like yourselves, networks and other social movements have found Giving Tuesday an instrumental part of how they mobilize their community, but also how they think and reflect about resources and the assets around them. The momentum that has been created by this global movement has resulted to so many campaigns and so many creative ways of engaging the community. And in all that comes some level of visibility. And the solidarity that comes in knowing that you're doing something good, you're doing something collaboratively with others, but you're also sharing a moment globally that allows you to talk about the causes that you care about, that also allows you to connect with others and experiment on new ideas. We've seen nonprofits and movements also view this as an opportunity to build a stronger base and connect with communities or constituencies that they do not necessarily engage throughout the year. And then organizations have also seen this as an opportunity to also think about special ways or new supporters that they can mobilize, or new supporters that they can reach out to. As I said, Giving Tuesday isn't just a day, which means that in the 111 countries that Giving Tuesday represents, leaders have found a way of translating and connecting it to other social movements, to other moments, to other cultural ways of giving in their own countries. So, for example, in Africa, Giving Tuesday and leaders have connected it to Africa Day, for example, to see how do we celebrate cultures of giving across the continent. Women's Day, how do we celebrate women? How do we tell stories about the power and the impacts that women are making? But also, how do we build attention and build support to build support to build support to build assets, but also to build more contributions and support for work that is led by women across the continent. We've seen organizations think about moments like Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr. How do we translate this momentum globally to translate it to additional support for activities and additional support to connect with the Muslim community? So you might ask, what makes this possible? What has made this such a success? Honestly, this success is shared with the 111 leaders that we collaborate with around the world. So the way the movement is designed and the way the movement is run is that it comes in appreciating that leaders in their own countries understand what opportunities exist for mobilizing and activating engagement, while at the same time, it is these leaders who is strategically able to help and support them build movements of generosity in their own countries. And what we do is that we work and support our leaders think about how do we design strategies together, how do we design strategies together? How do we identify strategic partnerships to unlock generosity and support in our own respective countries? How do we learn about our giving cultures? But also, how do we collaborate beyond our own organizations to think about shared causes that we can champion on Giving Tuesday and every other day? This means that over the years, we built multiple levels of championing the movement. So yes, I mentioned country movements or country campaigns that happen, community activations very centered to geography and placed that have happened, and you'll get a chance to hear more about that from my colleague Madeline, who will be joining. And then the other trend that is rising is seeing organizations come together and work on collective campaigns and mobilization strategies beyond very specific topics, beyond very specific audiences. I would give an example of organizations who came together with the leadership of Giving Tuesday Uganda to think about how they can champion period justice or menstrual justice across Africa. And these are some of the things that have been able to grow, not just globally, but also at the continental level. And we're really excited to see what might emerge from your interaction with the movement this year and later. Just to note that we have created a lot of opportunities for young people to participate. Those below the age of 18, I've seen so many of you note that you work with youth in your respective communities and organizations. And Giving Tuesday has a sub-movement called Spark that is led, designed, and championed by young people. So we'll also share some resources so that you get to know how you can also engage with these movements and the opportunities that exist for you to connect your communities and your networks of youth to this specific group of people. Beyond that, the learning experience, the resources we create, and the trainings are available to the public, but we also have a specific fellowship program that targets leaders and organizers within specific communities. You can think about a 16-year-old who has an idea on how they can counter a challenge within their communities and wants to mobilize, but does not necessarily not necessarily have the experience of working in a nonprofit. This creates the space for them to learn with others around the world, but for them to also share these ideas and see how these ideas can influence how the movement moves, but also how the movement grows beyond the networks that they have or the networks that they are able to reach out to. So you might also ask, from the billions of interactions or expressions that Giving Tuesday has generated, from the communities and the cultures that Giving Tuesday as a movement represents, what are we learning? And for that, we have invested in a strong data and learning team that collaborates with partners around, that collaborates with partners around the world. Insights that will help us understand giving behaviors, for example, how individuals give, and how this understanding and these insights influence resource mobilization strategies, or how they influence how nonprofits and nonprofit leaders like yourselves think about how to approach partners, but also how to design strategies to sustain the relationships that you have with some of those partners. But this is just a brief overview of Giving Tuesday as a movement. I invite you to go to our website, check out all the resources that are available, learn more about our research agenda, and also connect with the respective country leaders in your own countries. Please feel free, if you represent a country that does not have a current Giving Tuesday leadership, please feel free to also reach out to us for any questions that you might have. I'm excited to see what this conversation brings, and that is why I would like to welcome Madeline, or hand it over to Bidemi to welcome Madeline to share more about community campaigns and what opportunities exist for us to collaborate around this specific level of activation. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. To take us deeper into today's conversation, how we activate community campaigns, I would love to invite Madeline. Madeline, are you here? Would you like to share your screen?
Yes. But Demi, if you have my presentation, that would make things a bit easier if you share the screen. Otherwise, I can do it.
Okay. Wonderful.
While she gets that up, hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Catherine, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful introduction to the Giving Tuesday movement. I want to, again, welcome you all, say hello from a very early morning in California. I'm very, very happy to be here with you all today. And, you know, Catherine mentioned a keyword that we love to talk about here at Giving Tuesday, which is distributed leadership. So I want to pick things up right then and there to share a little bit more about the values of the movement. And if anything that you hear today makes you say, maybe that's me, maybe the work that I've been doing is reflected in these values, is reflected in these activities that Catherine, myself, and some of our leaders who will share later on are talking about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and get involved. So Bidemi, if we can go to the next slide, that'd be great. Thank you. So as I said, the fundamentals of distributed leadership could be many. Distributed leadership simply means that we believe a couple of things about hyperlocal leaders, of which I am sure many of you fall under this category. Number one, we believe that as many problems as our communities face on a day-to-day basis, there are as many solutions. But the key there being that we believe that the people that have the most access to these solutions and have the best ideas, frankly, are the people that are closest to those problems that we face, to those challenges that we face, which is why we focus on hyperlocal leaders. We also think that leaders that are closest to those challenges and solutions are best positioned to inspire others. Why? Because they are from those communities. You each have your influencing powers. You may not all call yourselves leaders or influencers or whatever word makes most sense in your context, but trust me, you are better positioned that if someone from the outside came to share something with your community in terms of something they should change. We're always open to ideas and feedback and change, but we believe hyperlocal leaders are best to inspire others. And last but not least, we believe at the Giving Tuesday movement that when those leaders, right, those that are closest to the issues and those that are inspiring others come together and they share values, objectives, opportunities, then they start creating work together that leads to systematic change, as opposed to activities that lead to short-term change, which are not to be disregarded, right? But if we truly want to change our communities from the ground up, it's in our hands. It's in the hands of those we inspire. And by connecting with others, which is what I hope many of you are doing in the chat and will get the opportunity to continue doing through your involvement with the Giving Tuesday movement, you'll learn from each other and you'll create long-lasting change. But Demi, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. Catherine mentioned it a little bit, but I want to go a bit deeper into the way that we at the Giving Tuesday movement help create more resilient communities. And it is through various types of campaigns. I will briefly kind of go over the types of campaigns, and then we'll go deeper into one particular type of campaign that I think most of you might be interested in. So Catherine mentioned we are in over 110 countries, which is an incredible feat. By the way, our last country joined like 4 days ago. So just so you know, we are still growing. There's still plenty of opportunity. Each one of our countries does things differently, but within those countries, there's also other structures. There's also other people, organizations, networks that participate. And therefore, those entities, I would say, organize in different ways. And this movement has opportunities for everyone, right? Catherine mentioned youth, Starling, within our countries. And just so you know, if I'm talking about a country that you belong to and there's no country leader, don't worry, these structures can still apply to you. The three types of campaigns that we typically see, they're not the only ones, but Demi, let's just stay on the previous slide. Oops. Whoa, no one look at the screen. Okay, the three types of campaigns are geography-based, meaning you in your local community, you share a particular location with other people. That tends to bring a sense of pride. I know it does for me. And so that's one way that people organize. The second way people tend to organize is through cause coalitions. Very simply put, cause coalitions are campaigns where nonprofits, networks, or individuals that have a shared interest in a particular cause regardless of where they are, come together to do a generosity activity to engage with others on Giving Tuesday. And lastly, identity-driven movements, right? So identity, anything that moves you in the identity category and you share with others as well. Again, regardless of where you are, you would be able to organize with them. Now, what do these campaigns do? They do anything and everything to ensure that people know that there's, number one, a global generosity day. There's a whole day in the world where everyone is looking to do good. And we're looking to do good because we know that through doing good, not only are we going to make ourselves feel good, but we're going to create change in our communities. They do activities that are online or offline most of the times. Giving takes many forms, and we celebrate all of them in this movement. We celebrate giving items, time, values, money, writing on social media, whatever type of stories. Stories are a great kind of giving. So many of these campaigns, I do want to point out, have been developed by people that want to create, as I said earlier, solutions, right? Solutions that are not only answering to a direct and local need, but they're transforming the lives of themselves and the lives of others around them. So as I looked at the registration forms that many of you filled out to join us today, I was thinking that maybe we could talk a little bit more about one particular type of campaign. But Demi, next slide, please, and thank you. Which are our community campaigns. Our community campaigns are the best ways that leaders in our movement reach those hard to reach local areas in their countries. It's the campaign that I just mentioned where people gather and get together around a particular locality. And these campaigns, they always find creative ways. And I think we have a few people that are going to share examples after I speak. So I won't go too deep into examples themselves, but ultimately, small, medium, large activities, they all count. And the most important thing about community campaigns is that it provides an opportunity for many stakeholders to come together and do something proactive for their community. I say proactive because many of us have participated in other types of community campaigns due to urgency, due to disasters, due to urgent needs of the community. But what I'm talking about here are opportunities that you can help create for others to participate in a way that doesn't need to wait for the need to be urgent. Oops, sorry. It doesn't need to wait for it to be urgent. It can just be proactive and in celebration of this shared value that we all have, which is generosity. But Demi, next slide. I talked about stakeholders, and when I say that word, sometimes people have a bit of a question mark in their minds. Like, what do you mean by stakeholders? Well, what we mean when we say that is all the different types of groups of people that are already probably within your community that you could connect with in order to help you organize something around Giving Tuesday. I won't go into all of these, but as you can see on the slide, nonprofits is just one of the circles. And I celebrate everyone here who's part of a nonprofit, but I do invite you to take a look at this slide and think to yourself for a moment, which one of these circles represents a group of people that I've never engaged with for any sort of civic engagement or social action campaign or anything related to your work or any sort of fundraising, right? Catherine mentioned youth. We have youth in schools here. It is one of the fastest growing categories in our campaigns. We have businesses and brands. Many people ask me when we get into one-on-one conversations about how to organize their campaigns, they say, well, I need money. And I say, well, do you need money or do you need things to run your campaign? Maybe you need water bottles for your volunteers at an activity. And I say, well, why ask for the check or the money with which you can buy the water bottles and not approach a local business that has the water bottles that you need? That's just a quick example. So just like that one, for each one of these categories, your core team, nonprofits, any influencers or media partners, any platforms or schools that you want to approach, local governments, all of these groups of people have so much to offer. They just need to be asked. And so with that, maybe I can jump into just a quick couple steps, because I do want to give time for our other speakers. But Demi, if we can jump to the next one, appreciate it. These are some quick steps. Do you mind going back, Demi? We skipped the slide. We jumped to the good part. Okay, there we go. So these are condensed, but if you were to ask today, okay, I'm in, I want to get started, I want to make sure that you walk out of here with some quick bite steps that you can take, and also a quick view of what the process looks like. Now, this process can take as little as 2 weeks, 2 months, hopefully not 2 years, because we don't want to wait that long to help our communities. But please know it is a self-paced process. Catherine, I don't know if you mentioned, but Giving Tuesday is on December 2nd this year. And we will make sure that you receive more information about this. But basically speaking, you would, if you wanted to start a campaign, you would first identify what's your vision of the campaign. And this is an important step, especially if you already work at a nonprofit, because we never want Giving Tuesday to feel like additional work, right? Or like a separate idea of something that you're trying to achieve. So if you are a part of the network or a nonprofit that already has a mission, how can you use Giving Tuesday and leverage the energy that we're going to be creating globally on that day to help you achieve your goals? However, we did talk about community campaigns and involving other stakeholders. And so while you will have your vision, right, that's step one. When you go through step two and you identify partners, then only then will you be able to do step three, which is aligning on goals, because your partners will also have things that they want to achieve. And you don't want to confuse people, right? Which is why community campaigns end up being more like an umbrella campaign versus having very specific call to action, right? It's the difference between saying, we would like everyone in this city to go out and support a local organization on December 2nd versus saying, I have a nonprofit and I would like for you to help me buy items for school children, right? One of them is helping my entire community and making sure that people just know about this day and they know how to give and they know where to find their local nonprofits. Maybe you host a nonprofit fair where people can come and learn more about the causes that are happening in their area, versus the other version of the call to action, which is only benefiting one organization. So we definitely want to be careful around that. And that's why identifying partners and aligning on goals is super important. Then you go on to design your campaign. What do you want people to do? How are they going to hear about it? Who can help you amplify that message? All of that good stuff. Maybe you want to get creative. Maybe you want to create a logo on Canva for your campaign, right? Anything and everything under the sun, you design your campaign. And then lastly, of course, you launch and you promote your campaign. I think that's all the time I have today. I think I went over time, but I wanted to make sure everyone walked away with some quick bite steps. But then if we can go to the last slide now. But then we mentioned earlier, everybody, we do have, sorry, not the last, that one, yes. But then we mentioned we'll be sharing a guide with you. You will be receiving it in your emails shortly after this session, along with the recording. It is a 20-page guide. Don't be scared. It's 20 pages, but it is a workbook. So it will help you go from A to Z, from idea to action, if you want to start your own community campaign. But most importantly, if you want to keep learning about ways of connecting with the movement, future learning opportunities led by the gorgeous team of the Africa Hub, they will be giving you an opportunity to join the mailing list, which is where they send their newsletter. So either or of these opportunities will definitely help you get grounded, find ideas, and get to planning. It's only September. We definitely have time until the beginning of December. So thank you all so much for your time. I'll stick around if there's any questions that I can maybe answer in the chat. And I'll pass it back to Bidemi. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Madeleine. That was amazing. Now we move on to one of my favorite parts of this session. We will hear from community leaders like you. They will share stories, lessons, and hopefully some of us can take home fresh ideas in addition to all that Madeleine has shared already. Everyone has a turn, but I'd like to say that for all the speakers that are coming up after now, we have 5 minutes each. I would like to introduce Lisa, the country lead for GivingTuesday Uganda. Lisa, are you on the call? Are you here? Hi,
Yes,
Lisa.
I am here. Just need to confirm. Can you hear me? Are you able
Yes,
to hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to see you all. Thank you for coming. It's amazing to have you. So I have 5 minutes. I'll jump right into it. I'm going to ask to share my screen, if that's fine.
Okay,
Are you able to see my screen?
not yet. 1 minute. You can try now.
And now, can you? Oh, let me try. Okay. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, but we can see everything. I think you would need, yeah, you need to present.
That's it? Is that better?
Not yet. Are you presenting now?
Yes, I am. It should.
Not yet. Do you want to share the link with me? I'm happy to share the slides
Okay.
for you.
So it's not yet sharing. It's not sharing at all.
Not yet.
Oh, let me try one last time and are you able to see my screen now?
We can still see everything, but you can continue. I think it's
Okay.
fine.
That
Okay.
is that
You,
better?
yes, perfect.
Great. So sorry about that. Technology happens. Yes, I'm Lisa Marie Kawaya, GivingTuesday Uganda country for country lead. And yes, I'll talk about the very first campaign we've had. The very first campaign was still about period giving before we got the name period giving. I would say just the previous years. The first campaign was under a podcast that I was hosting, and this was in 2020. The podcast was called My Voice Podcast, and it really was sharing stories and experiences around gender-based violence, menstruation, and really community issues that are out there. So one of the things that I did was to share the story with the listeners of a particular community that I was volunteering at in Moya district, that's northern Uganda, here in Uganda. And I shared that, there's this deputy head teacher that is really supporting girls with her own resources And we all know that usually the PTO teachers here are not paid that much. So by the time a teacher is getting off the little that they are earning to support, then the issue is really too hard. So I think you're able to even see the generosity that people have at heart. So she was buying cotton clothes, she was buying she gave her heart as a changing room so the girls would change from there. She availed jerry cans and also water for them to use. So I shared this with the listeners, and then to they were able to really support the program. Sorry, the project was RAMPS, that is reusable menstrual pads for rural girls, and it's just to really support girls with menstrual information and also value-based books. That's how we started them before we transitioned to our whole organization, which is now Mona, which still means my voice. So just a minute, this was it. We gave out cards and we had a menstrual session. It was a team of volunteers. Different people came in. It was really amazing, and it was during COVID. So it was an advocacy campaign. We used social media, and family friends came in to fundraise. So we also had a partner organization that came in to give books. Those books were targeted for these young girls in primary, and they were value-based books that were really supporting them to have confidence, break stereotypes. One of the books was called Amani the Buddha Buddha Rider, to just show girls that they can do whatever that they want to do. And the amazing thing that happened is that it was the very first campaign that I did, and we raised about $1,100, and it was able to reach 100 girls. So we gave out 200 menstrual shields, 600 liners, 100 calendars, 100 bars of soap, 100 towels, and these were able to support these girls for a period of 3 years. But I think the thing that really warmed my heart with this particular campaign was that yes, reach we did reach to child mothers. But the thing is that what the head teacher, the deputy head teacher said, she said, quote unquote, because of what she did, some of the parents from the village allowed their daughters to join the cluster learning classes, which they've been having at that particular school from primary 4 to primary 6. And she particularly shared that 20 girls came and said that they wanted to be part of the classes where they were able to get the books and the pads. So I think that was the most thing that made us really excited, especially together with the volunteers, that it was such a small act. We didn't raise $10,000 or maybe $100,000. We just raised about 3 million shillings, $1,000, and people gave of their time, people gave of their money too, because northern Uganda from Kampala is about 300 kilometers. They joined a tour company, gave us a car. Like people came on board. And we just started. I didn't have a funder, I didn't have anything, but people that believed in the whole came. So I think the advice that I would give for anyone starting a campaign is just to just start. As long as you're passionate, as long as it is something that is going to create change, no matter how small you think it is, it's never that small. Just use your story, use your voice, and you have no idea who will be inspired by it and whoever will be willing to support you. So that was the very first campaign that we did, and we had lots of support in that way. So thank you very much. I hope that this can help anyone who would like to do any kind of activity for Giving Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was amazing. I hope some of us have seen practical examples of how we can start really small and still impact our societies, our communities, our immediate environment. I'm inviting the next leader right away. Can you confirm you can see my screen? Just checking. Yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Next, we will hear from Folakemi Adesina. She is the country lead for GivingTuesday Nigeria. Folakemi, can you confirm you're in the room?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi. I'm happy to share. I know you shared your slides with me earlier. So,
Yeah.
Fola, we are ready for you.
All right. Thank you very much, Bidemi, and thanks to the Giving Tuesday African team for this wonderful opportunity to share. So I'm going to be sharing about one of our campaigns here in Nigeria. The campaign is called the Giving Seed Campaign. So this particular campaign, I'm very passionate about it because it is an interesting one. So this campaign started in one of the schools here in Nigeria, and it is a campaign that the school themselves, they came about, they were the first school to introduce Giving Tuesday in their curriculum. And the teachers introduced lessons on generosity, and the whole school community, the school, the students, the parents, and the staff, they all participated in giving activities. So this small beginning revealed how powerful and how important teaching generosity and compassion at a very tender age. So after seeing the transformation in this particular school, we knew this idea could reach more schools. And with the help of our community leaders and the Giving Tuesday Nigerian team, we designed the Giving Seed campaign to replicate the model across regions in Nigeria. So the focus was to create a structure so that schools could adapt while making generosity their goal. And how we were able to achieve our goals was to, introduce a generosity corner. So a generosity corner in the school is a simple space in schools where students, the parents, the teachers could drop donations. So these contributions could be food, it could be clothing, it could be hygiene kits, it could be funds, it could even be simple cards or letters to patients in the hospital. So the school community would now agree on where they want to take those items to on Giving Tuesday. So the items could be, distributed to the orphanage, they could take it to the internally displaced persons' home or to public schools. So this concept was very easy to adapt because we were able to, create more awareness on generosity. And one of the things that actually worked well for us, one of our biggest strengths about this campaign was how much ownership the school community took, because they could own the campaign, they could do it themselves, they could do it the way they want. The only thing we were there for was for them to understand that we want them to instill generosity in the younger generation. So students became leaders, parents got involved, and teachers modeled generosity. So by doing that, we're able to create a culture of giving. So the generosity corner proved to be very simple enough to replicate, even while, trying to also teach them what giving is all about. So by having Giving Tuesday in your curriculum, that is the theory aspect. By donating to the generosity corner, that's the practical aspect, which makes it to be much more interesting. So one of the things that we actually saw is that without a dedicated champion within the school, it's actually more difficult for us to bring them together. So one of the things we tried to do was to, run like an orientation session to inspire and equip these teachers and their staffs so that by the time they are, by the time they have somebody that is, coordinating their affairs. So in some of the schools here in Lagos, we have some of our volunteers trying to, some would actually nominate schools and also follow up with the schools to ensure that they have their generosity corner. In some of the schools, some in Lagos, we have some of our SPAC leaders, coordinating the affairs of this particular generosity corner towards Giving Tuesday. And the campaign, shows us that generosity does not require big budgets or complex programs or complex situation. So you can start with a simple step by planting seeds of kindness in schools. So this particular campaign can be replicated in any region, in any country, because it's a very simple campaign whereby schools can adopt generosity into their curriculum. So I'm going to be encouraging anyone listening to me this afternoon here in Nigeria. For the first time, maybe for first time campaign leaders, my advice is very simple for you. Just start, because we believe in at Giving Tuesday that everyone has something to give. So keep doing it. Just start. All right. Over to you, Bidemi. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, Fola. That was amazing. I'd like to check with Catherine if Rita is on call. We have one more person to
Yes,
check.
she is. Yes, she is.
All right. We would like to hear from Rita of Food for Education. There she serves as the corporate and individual giving manager. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Bidemi. How are you?
Hi. I am good.
I hope you can all hear me. I know my background noise might be a bit too much, but I hope you can be able to sift through it.
We will try.
Yeah, so happy to be here talking about philanthropy. And I like the fact that a lot more local organizations are uh, taking up the idea of doing the Giving Tuesday campaign. And I'll say that the campaigns, in my experience, are similar but not the same, because you look at a different community. So that way, you are able to just look through making your campaign fit for the community that you're working with. So I'll share like 5 steps that worked for us as we did our campaign. This was with my previous employer. This was a university setting in Kenya. So we did the campaign ideation after we came across Giving Tuesday. We sat out, we mapped our resources, looked at what we could do for the time we had. By the way, we got to know about the campaign almost in October, but we were still able to join and work through it. So we looked at the campaign idea, the rationale. This involved just mapping out who would be able to help us think through it. And one of the best things is involving your community. My community was the university students, so we were able to reach out to the university or the students' council to sit down and ideate with them. Then we looked at building momentum for the campaign and mobilizing support. Here, I have to give it up to the Giving Tuesday crew. They're very, very innovative in terms of just giving templates to reach out. We had so many templates to choose from. That was never a problem. It was just about where we could use them. Then we have volunteer engagement and participation, where we had different people just come in, volunteer their skills, volunteer their time, volunteer their ideas, and we would be able to just take this all in into the campaign. It's our concept was a live document. We kept working with what we have and the new ideas, and then enhancing visibility through campaign materials. The other thing is how you use the Giving Tuesday platforms across social media, because once you're using the templates, you're able to tag Giving Tuesday and be able to get more visibility, even from people who you were not directly targeting. So that really worked for us. And the last thing was, of course, looking through the campaign, but also gathering and integrating feedback post campaign. I mean, sharing and iterating the success stories, sharing what worked for you, sharing what the money that you got, what was it able to do. So, this is just the success stories, and thanking the audience that worked for you, and also inviting the people who were not involved in the campaign directly to be more involved in the next time. We printed T-shirts that had the heart logo for Giving Tuesday. That's something that the students personally loved, because every time you contribute, we'll be able to give you a T-shirt. And the students also had photo apps whereby we could do photos of them, innovative photos, and share them far and wide. My advice, my one piece of advice would be, um, start now. Start as you are. Take the lessons, and every year you'll keep improving. Thank you, Bideni. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Rita. That was beautifully said. I really appreciate your contribution to this session. So everyone, we have heard from 3 leaders, and it is interesting how everyone has shared the same thing. To start now, start as soon as you can, start with the little that you have, and you'll be surprised how far you will go. You would also be surprised how much people are willing to be a part of your idea and ready to just work with you to see the future or the environment you want to see. It is time for reflections. I'd like us to take a moment to pause and reflect. We are about to open the floor for your questions, your comments, your thoughts, your questions. We still have Madeline and Catherine on the call, so they are ready to answer any question you might have. I think there is one here in the chat section, and I was wondering if Madeline wanted to say something. And I think this is from the Nigeria case study. How can I adopt this blessed initiative in Ethiopia?
That's a great question. That's a great question. And I think many might have the same question, right? How do I get started? Well, the 2 ways that we shared. Number 1, join our mailing list from the Giving Tuesday Africa Hub, as they will be sharing in the next couple weeks templates, resources, ideas, and more opportunities to come together in spaces like these to continue learning. And we will also be following up via email with a guide that will help you think through your idea, find your partners, create your message, everything that we've talked about today, everything that our beautiful leaders have shared that they put into practice as they got started. Do you have to follow the guide to create a campaign or an activity? No. You can just get started if you feel like you have everything you need. Most importantly, I want to reiterate, the Giving Tuesday Africa Hub team, as well as the Giving Tuesday Global team, we are here for you. We are here to answer your questions. We are here to connect you with people that might be beneficial to your campaign once you have an idea of what you want to do. So please don't hesitate to keep coming back to these spaces to both connect with each other and connect with our teams. Catherine, would you like to add anything?
Oh, no, that's well said, Madeline. Maybe something I could add is for the question about Kenya. We also work very closely with country leaders. So where there is no country leader, we are happy to come in and support or work closely with a leader that is quite proximate to your country. For example, Ethiopia, Giving Tuesday Kenya will be very happy to collaborate with you in helping you think about how you can adapt the movement in Ethiopia to say. And Samson, who is in Turkana, Kenya, happy to connect with you directly, but also happy to connect you with the Giving Tuesday Kenya team as you get additional opportunities for learning, connect with other networks that might be relevant for you, but also get exposure to other case studies and best practices on how Giving Tuesday has been adapted in Kenya in that way. Yes, and yeah, please sign up to our newsletter and we will keep you updated on all the opportunities that exist, at least within your region for learning.
Catherine, can you mention one more thing? Someone had a question in the chat about what you just said. Do you have to be a country leader before you can create a community campaign?
No, you do not have to be a country leader before you create a community campaign, but you can work very closely. We encourage and recommend that you work very closely with the country leader who's responsible for your specific country. And if there is none, we are happy to support you. So the movement is open to anyone, anywhere, and ourselves and country leaders are here to facilitate and support your ideas.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I see another question on Giving Tuesday Eswatini. I think I can answer that. We are happy to connect you with the leader there. I cannot pronounce this name rightly, so I would advise you share with me your email. Just share your email in the chat section so we can connect with you after this meeting. And we can also connect you with the leader in Eswatini. That's okay. Elizabeth, I need to be connected to persons to organize a campaign around issues addressed by the organization we founded. Awesome. This is the space to do that. But Catherine, I'd like you to speak to this comment. I don't think this is a question, but I think an opportunity to be part of a group.
Okay, so okay, cool. Is that in Kenya or is it?
Elizabeth, could you give us more context?
Just a context of the theme or the cause that you're referring to, please, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that would help. Yeah. I see that Cyrus' hand is raised.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Cyrus Lukongwa, and I want to thank you for inviting us for this, of course, meeting and deliberation. I work with Public Health Ambassadors Uganda, an NGO supporting sexual reproductive health and economic empowerment for adolescents and young women, as well as vulnerable communities, groups of communities, through economic empowerment and social entrepreneurship, and of course, health. Maybe it's like a question. Are we organizing a campaign as an organization to support adolescent girls and young women around menstruation hygiene and management? Because Public Health Ambassadors Uganda is making 11 years. So we came up with a project, mobilize resources from the different stakeholders, of course, through the stakeholder mapping in the country and out of the country. And we are still on the move, but our aim is to, the project is dubbed FAO at 11. And we are touching the 11 at everything. For example, supporting 11 schools in the country, supporting 1,100 girls, or 10,000, something like that, but has 11 somewhere, every digit. I'm wondering whether we can have an opportunity to, of course, through the Giving Tuesday, to have probably our partners to join us, to come on board, because we are trying to raise funds here and there through the different stakeholders, media, NGOs. Recently been to NFPA and different, of course, organizations. So I'm wondering whether we can have members or partners to join us, and any support that can be of course available. It may not be financial, it may be any kind of support. Thank you.
Catherine, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, I'll just pick the theme I have noticed is just the interest in getting support around partner identification, mobilization, and how to build your supporter base. Just to let you know that we are always happy to share resources. We have loads of resources around how you can go about this, which are applicable regardless of the context, but also regardless of the thematic area. I also just want to get back to Elizabeth. Thank you for sharing more details. I've also just browsed through your website. Happy to note that Lisa, who is GivingTuesday leader for Uganda, is with us on the call, and we'll connect with you to see how we can brainstorm around a partner engagement process for your campaign. Yeah. And especially her because she's really worked hard to bring different organizations together and shared cause and shared resources. Thanks.
Thank you, Catherine. Dean, I would also like to say that Lisa is also in the call and happy to connect with you because I see your comment in the chat. We are past time, everyone. I am still going through the chat section and we will attempt to answer all of this. We believe the guide that we have will answer all of your questions, including the one directed to Madeline around mobilizing resources. That guide, I believe, would answer this question. But Madeline, do you want to say something? Someone asked a question in French on how they have a desire to help others, but they have a situation in DRC, and they are wondering how they can mobilize resources and the will of the local population. I believe this is a crisis area.
Thank you, Bidemi, for pointing out that question. Same answer as Catherine has given for other people who happen to be in countries where we have country leaders. We would love to put you in touch with our country leader in the DRC. They have already been doing activities, and personally, I always find it helpful to put people together because it doesn't mean you're going to join what they're doing, but it does mean that someone in your country has already been thinking about how to leverage GivingTuesday and use it for good. And so sharing those experiences might help you in figuring out how to best use it in your context.
Thank you so much, Madeline. Nakakonda, the question around eligibility conditions to become a leader, happy to connect with you after now. If you could please share your email in the chat, that would be nice. I know we pick it up. Your question around how GivingTuesday is structured worldwide and within the country. Catherine actually spoke to this at the beginning of this webinar. The replay would be available after this session, and I will share it with you so you can go watch that. The first 20 minutes, we talked about GivingTuesday and how it's structured. Yes. Awareness campaigns, future prospects of this campaign, the guide. We will share all of this with you as a follow-up. So be rest assured these questions will be answered. Thank you all so much. I keep seeing your comments. Thank you. Keep dropping them and your emails. We will connect with you on every question you have asked, especially the ones who require an engagement or a meeting. Okay, we are at the end of the webinar. Please, if you have a few seconds left, kindly scan the code on your screen. Tell us about this webinar, your thoughts, your comment. This will help us to plan webinars like this in the future so you have seamless experiences. Tell us if you loved it, if you did not like it. Tell us about the sessions and how we can make it more valuable. Thank you all for joining. I want to say a big thank you to every one of you. We had about 90 people right up to the end of this call. And what we've had today has reminded us that generosity is not just an act, it's a movement. It starts with each and everyone in this room, in our communities, in our networks, in our everyday choices. On behalf of Giving Tuesday Africa, thank you once again. And we can't wait to see the incredible campaigns and stories you will create. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everybody. Bye.